The ANC this weekend marked 114 years since its founding, with President Cyril Ramaphosa delivering the annual January 8th statement in Moruleng in the northwest yesterday. The address reflected on the movement's long liberation history while setting out 2026 as the year of decisive action. Key priorities including fixing local governance, improving service delivery, fighting crime and corruption, and transforming the economy. The president also emphasized organisational renewal, discipline, and restoring public trust in the ANC. For more on this, we're joined by ANC's First Deputy Secretary-General, Nomvula Mokonyane. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the week ahead.
Good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon to the listeners at home.
I mean, we listened attentively yesterday as the January 8th statement declared 2026 as the year of decisive action. We heard the president talking a lot about, charting orders, marching orders, pardon me. What does decisive action really mean in practical terms for ordinary South Africans?
The program of action, which is the January 8th statement that was presented by President Ramaphosa yesterday, demonstrated consistency on the path of renewal, on the intention to reconnect and change the lives of South Africans for the better. Thirdly, ensuring that there's accountability and decisive action when it comes to delivery and servicing the people of our country, as we have also seen with what we were going through in the Northwest over the past 7 days. And of importance, it's an ANC that has repackaged itself, coming from the unfortunate 40% outcome of the last general elections. We do believe that we have to deal deliberately with changing the economic situation of our country. We have to deal with issues of safety and security, primarily on gender-based violence and femicide. We must build branches with members that understand the ANC and know the ANC, enhance investment on political education, as well as community work, and no longer just on the number of members that the ANC has got. And lastly, we have to build relations in the region, in the continent, and globally, as we have also seen in this rally in Moruleng, where we had almost 15 sister parties in attendance and about 80 members of the diplomatic corps driving from Pretoria to come to Moruleng.
Okay, so as you talk about the importance of building branches with members who understand the ANC, we heard President Ramaphosa saying that the ANC must renew itself or perish. Who within the organisation do you believe is standing in the way of renewal? Because internally and externally, it seems the message is not resonating.
Actually, it's the opposite of what you're saying. As we speak now, we've got over 2,000 branches of the ANC that have gone through a foundation course last year between the month of September and the month of December. I'm talking about branches. We have also had the National Executive Committee going through a foundation course on leadership. We have demonstrated that it will take a process like what we are doing, of doing community work, expose leaders to community work, expose members to the politics of why you join the ANC and what does the ANC exist for. For now, anyone who stands on the way of the renewal of the ANC, there are internal processes in the ANC to deal with those individuals. But I do not believe that there's anyone in the collective who has no intention or commitment to assist. Of course, people do falter, and hence there are those checks and balances in the organization to deal with that. Actions of discipline, solutions such as rehabilitating people through programs, and allowing comrades to also go through self-correction. We've put new guidelines on how to select and nominate public representatives much more stricter and much more demanding. For the first time, the ANC has got a Department of Monitoring and Evaluation as well as accountability, because most of the time we left policies without monitoring their implementation.
Yeah.
And hence we have been accused many a times that we have good policies, but we lack implementation.
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. Good implementation. The implementation of policies having failed. The one other aspect, as you talk about that, the president's speaking about officials, councillors, and all those who are failing to do their work and not delivering, having said that they must be given the boot. But this is not the first time we hear of this.
It's not the first time. What has always been a problem, Paul, as I've said, we never had systems of implementing those kind of decisions. We now have those systems. There's the local government intervention team. There's the performance monitoring and evaluation. We have the barometer that we have put in place. And I can tell you, just last year, there are a number of by-elections, like the one we'll be having in my own township in Kagiso, where we have removed a ward councillor who has failed to service his community and even attend council meetings. We will recall people from whether parliament or legislature, because now we have a system to hold everybody accountable, an establishment that was never there before. So it will not be something that is being used subjectively or factionally. There are processes for the first time that we have put in place.
Yeah.
Besides the issues of step aside and disciplinary processes, there are processes that each one of us is going to be subjected to.
What also stood out yesterday is the level of criticism around the turnout. I mean, the many empty seats that we saw, particularly when compared to past January 8 celebrations, and a lot of talk around what this essentially translates to when it's one has to value or look at the support at grassroots level, especially given the numerous complaints that SABC News has covered in interacting with community members, the water issues, the potholes, and which the president himself also spoke about. I mean, should we still be talking about such basic service delivery issues at this point in time?
When we went through the length and breadth of the Northwest over the past 6 days, we were not just going to pick up the problems. We now know what is to be done. There are processes in some of the villages and communities where we went to. We deployed ministers and MECs that are responsible for those issues. And hence, in the January 8 statement, the president could speak about the resources and capacity and intervention that is going to be done on behalf of the people of the Northwest with regard to water. The initiatives about bringing in Sanral and them to step in and take over these provincial roads and ensure that they are improved. The issues about the over 20 blocked housing projects, we now know that at least 8 of them will be unblocked, and others have already started. Where I was deployed, already 100 of those houses have now actually been handed over to the people because they have been unblocked. So the government intervention processes and the creation of the service delivery war room has actually started to show some signs. They may not be at an advanced stage, but we were not going to ask questions. We were taking messages and give people hope through action and them seeing that things are happening. As for the turnout, I think what we must appreciate, the stadium is not a covered stadium in its entirety. The weather, we had a very sunny day there, and the temperatures were very high. However, there was no low poor turnout. And it is wrong to say we failed to fill a stadium of 20,000. People were under the very stadium benches and stuff. People were under the trees The village was chock-a-block. Everywhere there were people. And I think it was a demonstration also that is good for the people of Moruleng, that we went to an area that was never designed to host such a thing.
Okay.
It's only the ANC that has brought that. But if people want to count those seats that were on the left-hand side of the stadium and then say there was a poor turnout, people shifted. In the morning, it was the side that is on the right that was empty. When the sun then moved to the other side, people moved. And by the time we left, even the SABC journalists, I hope they'll be honest with you, there was a show that every street, every corner of that village was with the people and supporters of the African National
Okay,
Congress.
thank you very much.
It's okay to be hard on the ANC, but it's not fair.
Thank you very much. Thanks for speaking to us this afternoon. We're going to have to, unfortunately, leave it there. ANC First Deputy Secretary-General Nomvula Mokonyane.